Welcome to Star Maker. This time, we're looking at another model kit. Figurized Standard Kamen Rider Wizard. Let's unbox the parts and take a look. Ooh, I did not expect the parts to be pre-painted in metallic silver. Even the details are intricate. We'll take a closer look later on. Let's look at the instruction booklet. On the back, we have some stills from the show and some nice guides for action poses and a coloring guide. Inside is the usual assembly instructions. Let's take a closer look at the parts. The etchings on the silver accessories are very fine. Seems like not much painting is needed for this kit. Here are the standard parts used by other Kamen Rider kits. And here are assortment of parts of the legs, body, and clear parts for the mask and chest. This piece for the chest uses metallic red plastic injection. These handprints didn't need to be clear plastic, but I appreciate that they are. Being a hero that uses magic rings, the gem pieces for the mask and chest are clear pieces as well. Even the shoe soles have Wizard's crest on it. And not forgetting the capes for his trench coat. A stand is included that needs to be assembled. Let's get to assembling the parts, starting with the head. This kit has many undergates. Basically, the runners hold the parts at areas that are hidden when assembled. I will be removing the gates with a nipper. And shave any remaining gates with an X-Acto knife. The parts should fit nicely together. Let's put them together to see how it looks like. Not forgetting the clear parts for Wizard's mask. Expected from the mage that uses rings, they really look like a gemstone. The kit does come with reflective stickers for the mask, but I have other plans. For now, let's keep on assembling the rest of the parts. Continuing with the arms along with the shoulder pads. As it should be known by now, each pair of hands has the wizard ring molded on. This is how the arms look like when they are fully assembled. Here is the other arm. Each pair of hands has a different ring. It's going to look better when painted. Very quickly, here are the legs fully assembled. Following up with the waist and the wizard driver. Let's put all the pieces together and see how it looks like. That doesn't look quite right. Actually, I was just curious how Wizard looks like without his trench coat. Give me a moment to attach them and... there, looks better. The silver paint on the kit has a really nice finish. Even without much painting, the kit by itself already looks good. Of course, it will look a little too bland without at least painting the small details in. Wizard also comes with an action coat for a dynamic pose. And definitely not to miss out on his signature weapon, the Wizard Sword Gun. I was thinking of just painting a few parts, but I want to see if I can make this kit as accurate to the show as much as possible. The pre-painted silver already looks good, but since I will be removing seam lines and mold lines, I will need to replace the paint with another metallic color. I'll be testing out a variety of silver metallic paints. I have them painted on a piece of the black and clear red runners. It looks like the chrome silver tool is the best looking. It shines very smoothly. We will be using it for the silver parts. I was hoping that this metallic paints could shine well for the clear parts too, but it doesn't seem like it's good enough. We will have to find another way. For removing the seam lines, I'll be using a set of sanding sponges I made using sandpaper and thin EVA foam. Using extra thin cement in between the gaps and pressing the part tightly will help melt them together. We can then smoothen out the seam by sanding it. The finishing from using coarse to finer sanding sponge will be much smoother. Starting with number as low as 320, 400, and working your way up to as high as 7000. It's nice using a sanding sponge as there is enough hardness to shape the parts, while still having the softness to sand according to the contours of the parts. The parts that need seamline removal are the helmet, torso, arms, and the legs. It's quite a lot of work. The collar on the upper torso is quite hard, since the details on it are quite fine. You might end up erasing it. I also use a nail buffer to smoothen out the sanded area. For mold lines, it's less of a hassle compared to seam lines, but a lot of the mold lines are in intricate places. You need to be careful not to sand away any details. This is especially the case for the silver braces on the arms and the legs. We are done with removing the seam and mold lines. Now we can start masking the kit for painting. I'll be masking only the moving joints first. I prefer them not to be painted as the friction usually chips the paint away. Starting off with priming, we'll be using Mr.Finishing Surfacer 1500 Black. Priming the base layer in black will help the metallic to have a better contrast under light. I will also be priming the part with red metallic plastic. The Wizard sword gun will also be primed black. I will just be giving the black parts a black primer, as the finishing with this surfacer is already pretty good. With the parts primed, we need to mask out the parts for the metallic paint and red for the trench coat. As the coat is quite thin, masking it with small pieces of masking tape will make things easier. With the parts masked, it's time for the main event. Super Chrome Silver 2. The first coat already looks so good, can't wait to see the rest of it. Here I am painting the silver part on the back of the torso. For the red metallic plastic piece, I painted it with the same chrome silver and topped it with a clear red. For the trench coat, I'm using a mix of a bit of wine red with red madder. I'm going lighter with the red here. Even though the trench coat in the show has a higher saturation, I think it would look nicer if the colour was slightly darker in tone. The silver parts turned out well with the super chrome silver. So did the metallic red parts using clear red colour. The red on the coat also turned out well. The darker hue gives it a sort of leather appearance. Time to peel off the masking. Hope everything turned out well. Looks like the colour separated perfectly. Clear red was also used for the braces. Let's see how it turned out. Looks fine, but seems like I may have missed a bit of it when masking. We will fix that later. Let's get to painting the rest of the details by hand. To make painting small parts easier, I use an ice cream stick and some double-sided tape to hold the parts. You can use a document clip like this to keep it upright on your desk. Using the Super Chrome Silver 2 again, we will use it for the silver parts that I did not airbrush. The paint is tinned with a paint retarder to slow down the drying time. This keeps the paint wet for a while longer for it to spread on the parts. The main part to paint will be for the trench coat's silver trims, followed by the rings molded on the hands. To give it some contrast, I'll be using flat black enamel to add panel line on the trims. Also using it to help bring out the small details for the silver parts like the driver and these small triangles on the collar. After which, we can then use enamel thinner to remove any excess paint. The crest on the shoe soles will also be painted silver, using black enamel to help to cover up any excess silver paint. Adding some black enamel on the dragon patterns on the shoulder. Adding a black wash onto the belt as well. Followed by the wizard sword gun and the etchings on the helmet. Then remove the excess with enamel thinner. Everything is turning out nicely. Let's keep going with some clear red. This is to touch up on the braces that did not get covered by the clear red when I was using the airbrush. Adding some details to the wizard sword gun as well. Next, switching to Aquarius color with clear yellow to paint the wizard signal, the gem on his forehead. Adding more details to the wizard sword gun. And most importantly, the lens style wizard ring attached to the belt. The clear colours combined with the silver just looks so good. The yellow also needs to be used for the tiny signal on the other rings as well. Continuing with clear green for hurricane style ring, and clear blue for the water style ring. Lastly, clear red for the flame style ring on the left hand. One more set of rings we need to paint are the spell rings, but this one is tricky. The sticker sheet color for the spell rings just didn't cut it. Luckily, I own a spell ring that I got from a gashapon a long time ago for reference. To achieve that color, I'll try mixing Aquarius clear orange and red together. It's not turning out as I was expecting it. I'll be adding some clear yellow to lighten the mix. Let's see how it goes. Now that is closer to the spell ring's color. Aside from the incredibly small detail on the ring, the color looks pretty accurate. Here is a side-by-side comparison of the painted ring and the actual toy. They look so good when fully painted, almost feel like the real wizard rings. Let's finish up with painting using GX Blue Gold for the clear handprints for the wizard sword gun. Followed by the driver ring for the right hands and the wizard driver. I will erase the excess with thinner. Finally, I'll be giving the silver parts a gloss top coat for them to shine better and a matte coat for the black parts of the body. For the smaller silver parts, I will hand paint them with Aquarius clear gloss, especially for the molded rings and the collar. Jumping back on the reflective sticker for the mask, I'm not satisfied with its reflectiveness. I decided to instead use my own method to make the mask reflective. I'll need to copy the patterns on this sticker sheet. After scanning the sticker onto my computer, I traced the pattern and printed them on a sheet of sticker paper. Here I have mirror tape that I'm applying on some transfer paper. I'm going to cut out the mask pattern on the mirror tape with a hobby knife. Here is a comparison of the reflectiveness using pieces of the mask. The mirror tape does a better job at reflecting light, making the clear red part shine like a jewel. Continuing, I cut out the remaining pieces for the chest and we are ready to assemble the pieces. Just to be sure that the clear pieces are good to go, I give them a light polish with some finish type polishing compound. And with that, the clear pieces are ready. Use a knife to align the mirror tape onto the part. Then, using a cotton bud, rub it into the shape of the part. Using a toothpick as well to better get the tape to take in the shape. Applying the clear piece again just to check if it's good. Let's assemble the head to see if it's all good. The reflection turned out better than I thought. We are finally done with everything. Let's put all the pieces together and see how Wizard is like when everything is put together. It's so different when you put so much attention to the build process. But I did make some mistakes when trying to paint in the gloss coat. Despite that, it definitely paid off to use a more reflective material for the gemstone parts. The amount of etching in the silver parts makes Wizard look very stylish. Let's get to some action poses with the included stand. The proportions of this kit is pretty spot on. I wonder if it's actually better than the Shinkocho SH figures. The new coat of silver paint added almost feels like Kamen Rider Wizard came to life. Painting in the small details like the rings really adds to the stylishness of Wizard. Let's get him to use the Wizard sword gun. With so much silver on him, combined with the jewel aesthetics, it gives off a premium feeling to the kit. With the range of motion on the kit, you can pull off some nice poses with the Wizard sword gun. Wizard does not have a lot of hand options, but it's not an issue since he does not need it to replicate the poses from the show. And of course, it's not a complete pose showcase without a rider kick. The crest on the shoe sole makes the pose feel so satisfying. There is some limitation with the posability on the torso and even with the action coat on. But you still get to pull off some dynamic poses with it. Some warm lighting helps to bring out the flame style aspect of Wizard's appearance. And since Wizard uses XMA during his fights, I tried to recreate a pose that will echo that. Painting the parts on the driver was the most enjoyable part for me. I'm glad to get the spell ring color right. Now that we are done, there's a few things I want to say. It is 2024 and almost the end of January. This video was initially planned to be out between November to December last year. I got this kit around August and started at around September, but many things piled up. I was preparing for my trip to Japan that happened in October. Quite a lot of things needed to be done since it's been quite a long time since I last traveled. I might make a video about my trip, maybe just the channel relevant parts. We will see. I also wanted this build to be as high quality as I can make it, so a lot of time went into procuring the tools, materials needed. Some of the methods I used took way too long to get right. Aside from that, I switched from editing on CapCut to using Blender. I prefer Blender now since everything is saved on my PC rather than relying on an account. And it supports HDR footage, but it gets laggy when editing, so I might go back to SDR. Learning how to use Blender also took a while. And I got a new mic, which recorded my voice better. Not sure if you can tell. The worst thing that happened was that I got sick a lot, like for 2 months straight till the end of last year. Sounds like I'm making excuses for taking my time with the video, but this is also not my day job, so I know I'm not obligated to do all this. But I do want to make better videos moving forward, and it's fun making these videos, and I want them to be as high of a quality as I will be able to make them, just like with Wizard over here. I like documenting the processes of these builds, and it motivates me to make even more of it. I'm not sure where we'll be going from here, but I hope to make other kinds of content too. So I hope you do look forward to that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next build.